whoa, just a minute. Did you just say that you have a great business idea and you're now gonna be a billionaire with that? And there is nobody out there doing this? Well, just be patient, because right now I'm gonna share with you something that you have to know to understand if you're building up a business or a hobby. Stay tuned. Hi there, my name is Miguel and Miranda, and yeah, I do often get this question: Miguel, I don't have so many business ideas. What are your suggestions to find a good idea? And yes, I do understand. You don't actually have to come up with an idea. Me, myself, as an entrepreneur, I also have awesome ideas I would like to implement. I even have a folder where I write down all my ideas inside. In fact, I do have like 100 ideas or something like that, or over 100. So there's always coming up new ideas, and I just write them down in an idea book. And I make sure that I don't check out that idea book, otherwise I'll have more new ideas and so on. So there is unlimited ideas that we can implement on the marketplace. But then I came to this realization: I don't have to come up with an idea. This is my approach. All I do is I understand what the market wants. What do I mean by that? There is a book. It's called The 4 Steps to Epiphany, written by Steve Blank. I will set a link in the description below to the book. It's a really great book. Well, basically, there are these 4 steps. The first one is customer discovery. Before coming up with an idea, you'll have to understand, what does the market really want? What is the biggest market need? What do they really want? What's the biggest wishes? So that's the first thing that you have to find out before creating an idea. Well, the second step is customer validation. Well, now you might have some interesting ideas that you would like to validate, that you can implement. And now it's about that the customer should now validate this business idea. Validation comes, for example, with a small transaction. And then it's going into customer development. And in customer development, that is, okay, good. So this has worked out with this customer. Are there more customers that I can take care of? So you grow your customer base and all of that. And that's customer development. And the last phase, the last step of Epiphany, is business growth, where you now build systems, processes, the sales processes, lead generation, and all of that, because now you already have a validation to your solution. So that is the book. Now, how do we implement these things? Well, it's very simple. Do you notice people that always criticize things around, that things are not going that well, or they already using kind of products and they say, wow, that would be great if there is something else that's better out there. Look, great ideas or great businesses, you don't have to come up with something super new. All you have to do is take something that's out there and just make it better. Or combine 2 different kind of ideas to one. Or combine one business model with a different product. It's very simple to do business innovation. It's basically improving of what's on the market. Normally, if you would find a person that is extremely upset or unhappy, unsatisfied with the current products or services that is getting delivered, you can actually go up to that person and simply interview the person. Interview the person on what would be an ideal solution to this. So a typical customer interview or customer discovery interview would be, first of all, hey, okay, I can see you're struggling with this thing over here. Can you give me some context? What's the current situation? Well, I'm having this situation where I do want to achieve this goal, but I'm struggling with these kind of things. So basically what you go over here is to find out what's the situation the person is, and what are the complications the person is going through. And the very important question is, okay, so you would like to achieve this goal. Okay, so you're over here, this is your situation, and you want to go over here to this goal, achieve a desirable result or relieve yourself from a emotional stressor. What are you doing so far? Like, what's the bridge to it? What are you doing so far to solve this problem? I mean, there are other companies out there, there are solutions out there. Why don't you go with them? And the person will say, well, they don't have great customer service, or they don't focus on quality. And you know what? You actually take points of all these things, what's missing. And you can go more deeper, you can expand on the topics. What do you mean by quality? What do you mean by paying structure? What do you mean by pricing model? What do you mean by customer service or experience or anything like that? And like this, you know what? You then identify something that hasn't been really solved on the marketplace, but there are customers like these that are still struggling with. Well, do you know what? What you're doing is the market already has the business ideas. They're looking for a person to turn these ideas into reality. And that's an entrepreneur, turning ideas to reality, or ideally into profitable businesses. So that is what you're doing. The market has these issues, these problems, and now you just interview them and ask themselves, okay, you know what? There's no solutions like this. If there were a solution out there, how would it look like? How would it ideally look like? What should be different? And the customer will say everything. I would like to have this, I would like to have that, this will be a great service. Okay, is this necessary, or what would be like a bonus and what is more like a necessity? I say, yeah, these are the necessities, and these are kind of like nice to have things. And I say, okay, fine. Now, if we were to put a fair pricing model on this, what would be, in your opinion, a fair pricing model for this? Well, I would like to have this kind of test phase of 2 weeks or something like that to try out how this works, and then having like a monthly fee payment, and then having like a more premium offers over there, or maybe like everything pay one on demand. Like, the customer will tell you all the solutions for your business. The market is basically sharing you the whole business plan, and all you have to do is just listen carefully and take notes and execute. Again, it's very simple. Listen carefully, listen with intent, take good notes, and execute. Take action. Make it reality. Anybody waiting, you're the one to make it reality. So then what you do, okay, now you have this kind of business model and all that stuff. Then you actually ask, okay, so you share with me this kind of thing. Now this is an ideal business model. Just imagine we'll have this business model on the market. How will that look like? How will that feel like? You say, wow, that would feel awesome if we'll have this kind of thing out there and all that stuff. Then I would ask, okay, are you the only person that is struggling with this, or do you know many or any kind of other people that are having the same issue? Now, that's a very important question, because over here, the person says, yes, there are a lot of people. If you have this solution to the market and you bring it out there, a lot of people will be running after this. If you get that answer, you know that you have something here. So that is where you actually not just interview the customer, you now have like a kind of business model, and you have a whole business idea that you can implement on the market. And very important, test it give a test period, like for example 3 months for the idea, and see what needs to be tweaked and optimized. You tweak and optimize until it is validated by the marketplace. Now, the question is the idea that I have right now, is there a business behind? So most of the times when an entrepreneur comes up with a great idea that doesn't exist on the market, then I recommend to do the following. Before you invest, you investigate. Investigate if there is already an idea like this in the past, and if it has failed, to understand why, so you don't do the same mistake. Like this, you're gonna save a lot of time, effort, and money in the future. Okay, so learn from past failures of others. Now the second thing is, okay, if there has been like no business in the past and has failed, other question I would ask myself is, okay, is the idea something that the market wants right now? If you have an innovative idea, it might be really good, but maybe the market is not ready for it, and it's missing kind of trend structure to then get to that idea that you have. So maybe it's not a good idea right now, but an awesome idea in the future. Yes, it can be as well an innovative idea. I mean, we've seen this with Tesla, for example, like bringing on electric cars, and how Tesla actually approached this. They done more the push market approach. So they have actively promoted Tesla to the market. And then after they built up a customer base, they then went on the pull market approach, means now they have adapted the systems and the business processes and the product itself on the market. Okay, so it's kind of like a push and then a pull market strategy that they have over here. Now you can do that as well for yourself. However, it's a lot of energy required to push a new product or a new service on a marketplace that is not ready yet. Okay, so that's the second thing you have to take in consideration. And now the last thing is to identify, is this a business idea or is this a hobby that you have? A pretty expensive hobby. Well, a hobby is something that you, well, enjoy yourself, and maybe it's a business that you would like to have for your own and you would like to present it outside there. And it's basically kind of like an ego approach, because you're doing it more for yourself, even though you're communicating to others that you're doing it for others. So you have to check on that, because maybe it is a hobby. If you're doing a true profitable business, then it is more an idea that is created by the market. Okay, profitable businesses, in my opinion, are not created by the entrepreneur himself, but are created by the market, and the entrepreneur executes on making that idea reality. This is 3 things that you have to take into consideration, that you'll have to investigate before creating an idea. There's another thing. Why don't you just ask your question, is there already an existing business out there? And if yes, well, why should you always reinvent the wheel? Why not improve an existing wheel? Well, so that's what you ideally should do. That's what I do. I go out there and check out all kinds of different companies out there and products and services that already start to provide the idea and start to penetrate the market and get new customers. So why not, instead of creating everything on my own, why not I actually support these kind of businesses? Because business is not a game that you play alone. It is a team sport. By this, you will have to identify who is your ideal team and with who you like to work together, because long term you'll have to build your own team. So based on that, if there is as well no companies out there, then start with a small market, make some tests of your idea to see if it's validated for your market, and then you can implement it. So this is like kind of the process of how you find out amazing, profitable business ideas. The toughest thing is not actually coming up with the idea, is implementing it, executing it, making it reality and taking action on it. So within the next week, try to find a person that is struggling with something, doesn't matter what. At least it's a person that you like to work with together. So if the person is struggling with something, interview the person, ask what will be the ideal solution, and test it on the marketplace. I hope this video has been helpful for you. If you have any questions in terms of entrepreneurship or things that I should clarify much more in detail, then simply comment below. I love to read your comments. Hit the like button, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Take care.